from Fit with Bliss, and as promised, tonight we're going to be talking about alcohol and achieving your health, fitness, weight loss goal. It's one of the most common questions I get from anyone that I talk to about achieving their goal is, am I still able to drink and achieve my goal at the same time? How much is it really affecting me? Do I need to make sure that I pull it back a little bit, or does it really make a difference with what I'm trying to achieve? Whether you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to build lean muscle mass, we're going to be talking about both. If you guys have any questions, feel free to go ahead and type them in the comments and I'll try to address them as I go. All right. So basically, the first thing I want to start with you guys is most people don't realize that alcohol has its own calorie content. So if you're familiar with how to read a nutritional label and you look at, the calories and carbs and fats and proteins, every gram of a carb is equivalent to 4 calories. Every gram of protein is equivalent to 4 calories. Every gram of fat is equivalent to 9. So many people don't realize that alcohol is actually equivalent to 7. So every gram of alcohol equals 7 calories. But it literally has no nutritional content. Now I'm talking about alcohol in its purest form. I'm not talking about, beer or wine necessarily, because those do have, added sugars and things like that contribute to the carbohydrate content in there. So they do get other calories from that nutritional content. But with alcohol in its purest form, you're talking about like any type of spirit, and you're talking about rum or vodka or things like that, in the purest form, they have no nutritional value whatsoever. So that's the first thing I want to point out. The second thing I wanted to point out is the fact that they postpone the fat burning process. So any type of alcohol that's consumed, your body starts to prioritize it. And hi, Christy, thanks for joining. So your body starts to prioritize that, and it stops metabolizing your fat, it stops metabolizing your carbs, and it wants to burn the alcohol as soon as possible, because since your body can't store that because it doesn't have nutritional value, it can't store it later and burn it and use it for fuel, it wants to prioritize that it is first focused right there. So it's not that your fat metabolism completely stops forever, but while you're consuming the alcohol, your body has totally other plans. It's prioritizing, and it's like, oh, all right, anything that you're eating at the time, it's totally going to be storing that stuff as fat because the alcohol is the priority. So if you're looking at the first way that your body is affected when you're drinking alcohol, it's that it's slowing down your fat metabolism because it's prioritizing burning this alcohol first, okay? So that's what I wanted you guys to understand. The second thing it does is it actually lowers your testosterone level. Now, ladies, you may be thinking to yourselves, like, that doesn't really apply to me because it's more, like we all have that hormone, but it's more a male thing. Maybe they're worried about it for building muscle. But guys, when it comes to testosterone, it's going to increase your ability to be able to burn fat. And you need testosterone in order to be able to build that lean muscle mass that you want. And the lean muscle mass is going to be increasing your metabolic rate. So indirectly, when you think about the fact that when you're drinking alcohol, if you're lowering your metabolic rate, meaning that you're burning less fat, it is impeding on your goals there. So it's not to say that you can't enjoy yourself, and I'll touch on that in a little bit. But these are the things that happen. I wanted you guys to exactly understand what's going on. It's not just about the calories that you consume. It's not just about that at all. But that does kind of segue me into the next thing that you have to think about is, and it kind of seems like a duh moment, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. You realize that all the mixers and whatnot that you're adding are adding more calories. Yes, we totally understand that. If you just take a plain shot of liquor, it's going to be totally different than when you have some type of, Long Island iced tea or a screwdriver or anything that has the juice, the different types of the syrups that go in it when you have, mojitos or daiquiris and things like that, any type of sodas that go in it. So all of those are, of course, going to be adding calories. But guys, it's not just the calories. It's what those sugars are doing to you at that time. So you realize, I know I realize, but do you realize when you have alcohol, you get hungry a little bit sooner? Your appetite starts to be stimulated. So you guys have to think about the fact that most times you are having something that has the carbohydrates in it. You're having your beer, you're having your wine, or you're having your liquor mixed with some type of mixer that has carbohydrates. So those are going to be breaking down into sugars. And guys, that's spiking your blood sugar level. That is spiking your insulin level. So what's going to happen? Your body's like, give me more, give me more. It wants more sugar. It needs to break it down. So what does it do? It tells you that you're hungry. Guys, this is increasing your appetite. And then on top of that, we all know that our judgment is not the strongest when it comes to choosing foods that we have when we're drinking. I know when I was in college and I was living in the dorms, and literally Friday, Saturday nights, every fundraiser that was going around is, selling either Philly soft pretzels or burgers or pizza. And I'd be sitting there in my room at 2:00 in the morning and I'm like, just give it all to me. Just give it all. And people would be like, I can't believe how much you're putting it away. But it doesn't matter because, I was hungry, number one. And number two, I didn't care what was going to go, in my stomach. I just needed to eat. Or how many times I went and had a delivery from the local diner and I got probably enough meals for 3 people, but it's because I was so dang hungry and it didn't matter. And guys, alcohol will do that to you. It doesn't mean that you're not necessarily hungry, but how much hunger that you have and how soon it starts to come on is going to be affected by the sugars that you bring in. Chris, I try telling this to clients all the time. Yeah, exactly. And people don't really realize the science behind it. You're just like, oh, okay, well, I'm taking in more calories. So, I'll just burn it off tomorrow. But guys, it's so much more than that because it's literally affecting your blood sugar all throughout the day and the next day. So when you're thinking about trying to save up those calories during the day, I used to do this in college all the time. This was my mindset. It'd be a Saturday and I'm like, I'm not going to eat much today because I know I'm going to, then in my college years, I was like, I'm going to drink my ass off tonight. So I'm going to save all my calories and just have them through my mixers or shots or whatever I wanted to have. And so I wouldn't eat. And it seems logical, okay, calories in versus calories out, calories burned, I'll stay on track this way. But guys, it's not like that at all because first of all, you're not just taking in those calories from the drinks because you're going to get hungry and you end up eating half those calories anyway. I literally would probably have a couple thousand calories after I would get done eating because you want all of these fat, salty foods. And so you realize that it's more than just that because you end up you end up getting sick the next day, first of all. And then second of all, you end up taking in so much more in food than you probably even do in alcohol. So when it comes to the next day, when you have that hangover or when you feel like, you get up and you're like, oh, I want McDonald's or you want to try and settle your stomach or you feel like that's the only thing that's going to make you feel good. We used to run to Sonic, whatever it may be. Everybody has their go-to. But guys, the reason that you crave these salty, fatty foods the next day is because your body's trying to recover from what you just did to it last night. So, it took a toll, whether it was one drink or several drinks. Clearly it's going to be a little bit worse when you have several, but your body still went through a little bit of a trauma and it's trying to recover from, the effects of drinking. And so it needs energy to do that. Well, what is the best, most dense energy source? Fat. Go figure. That's why. It's not just hormone levels are all around. No, it's literally because your body wants that best, strongest fuel source, which is fat, to be able to start to recover from, what you just did to it last night. Would you say it will cost you 5 extra miles on the treadmill if you're not hungover? Yeah, there's a lot of different effects. And, we all went through that. We all went through our days. Granted, you're not going to feel that great the next day either. So probably can just throw that workout out the window. But there are just so many different things that come from alcohol besides just the consuming the alcohol itself. But guys, I know that we're all human. I totally get it. And this is why I just launched the ebook that I launched on Saturday that is about the smartest fast food choices and the smartest alcohol choices, because you're trying to live your life. Because let's be real, we are all human. I don't expect anybody to go without drinking. I just don't. And if you can, that's great. I think that you'll feel better. I think you'll get to your goals faster. But if you're sitting there wondering, is it worth it? Do I want to just keep my sanity? And do I want to be able to just enjoy my weekend and be out with my friends and not worry about it because, work was stressful and the kids were driving me bonkers and the dog, peed on the couch 5 times this week. I just want to drink. Guys, it's okay to relax. It's okay to just chill and go and have a good time with your friends and your family and have a couple drinks. That's fine. I want to just show you the best way to do it. And so if you're able to cut it out completely, yeah, it's going to get you there faster. But I wanted you guys to understand exactly why we say that taking in any type of alcohol is going to start to impede on your goals. It's not really just the alcohol consumption. It's going to be all the other things that come after it and how it affects mainly, the types of foods that you're going to be consuming and then a couple of your different hormone levels. So if you're wondering what the best choices are when it comes to going out and drinking and you're like, okay, Alyssa, that's great. I'll go and I'll try and cut it down to a couple of drinks. Or maybe I don't want to cut it down a couple of drinks, but I just want to know what the better choices are to be able to have. That was the purpose of me writing this ebook. So if you guys go to fitwithliz.com/products, I just launched an ebook that's $7.99, $8 for you to be able to know exactly what drinks are the best for you to be able to consume. It can save you literally hundreds of calories, several pounds per month, just by knowing the right way to do it. I break it down when it comes to liquors, when it comes to the different types of wines, because I myself am a Moscato girl. I love dessert wines. And after I did all this, I was like, oh my God, like I'm not doing that anymore. Like there's no way that is even worth it. Or if you're a beer person, but it may make you think, hey, maybe instead of doing, the beers or the lagers all the time, you may want to switch to something else. So you guys need to check that out. And then that's the second half of the ebook, but the first half is all about the top 13 fast food chains that people go to and my suggestions as far as what meals you should be choosing from there, whether it's you just forgot your meals at home, or maybe, someone's driving you home from the bar and you want to stop through the drive-through, and now maybe you'll have a better food choice when you get hungry. So Christina, you say, what if you're really picky? I don't know if that means when it comes to food or when it comes to alcohol. I break down several different examples. You should be able to make some style drink that is appealing to you towards the recommendations that I have. But anyone that gets if you end up going through the ebook and you decide that you're like, I'm still really stuck, I don't know how I could enjoy a drink with the suggestions that you gave, feel free to shoot me a message and just let me know, and I'll be able to try and give you my best recommendation for you, but I'm sure you'll be able to find something in there. So if you guys continue to have any questions, thank you so much for joining. Post them below. If I missed anything as I went through this, I'll be sure to get back to it in just a second as I read through the comments. So have a good night, guys.